Good day and thank you for joining our presentation titled Exploring Fair Information Practice Principles FIPPs, a framework for privacy policies. In the modern age where personal information management is crucial, FIPPs have emerged as a globally recognized framework, providing a solid foundation for privacy policies. We will take a comprehensive journey exploring the intricacies of each aspect of fair information practice principles over the next few minutes. These principles, which include transparency, individual participation, security, and accountability, form the foundation for ethical data management. But our exploration continues. We will also conduct a thorough comparative analysis highlighting how FIPPs stand out among other privacy policies, laws, and regulations. Understanding these differences is vital for effectively navigating the complex landscape of privacy governance. Furthermore, we will delve into the practical realm, explaining how FIPPs act as guardians of personally identifiable information and how federal agencies can easily integrate each principle into their daily operations. This session aims to empower you with actionable insight, cultivating a deeper understanding of FIPPs and their applications in the dynamic landscape of contemporary privacy practices. So let us embark on this journey into the intricate world of fair information practice principles, where governance meets responsibility and knowledge becomes the key to effective privacy management. Evolution of the fair information practice principles. The Fair Information Practice Principles were initially crafted in 1973 by the U.S. Department of Health, Education, and Welfare Advisory Committee to regulate the responsible use of personal information. These principles gained international recognition after being adopted by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development (OECD) in 1980. Over time, the FIPPs have been continuously improved with the help of various influential organizations and authorities, such as the Federal Trade Commission, the Office of Management and Budget, the National Institute of Standards and Technology (NIST), and the European Union. It is important to note that while the FIPPs significantly impact privacy practices, they do not have any legal binding. Instead, they are widely accepted as a common framework and best practices for developing privacy policies. These principles guide ethical data management practices in both government and private sector. The 8 core principles of the FIPPs. This is an overview of the 8 core principles that comprise the Fair Information Practice Principles. This section outlines these principles to set the stage for a detailed exploration. Transparency, individual participation, purpose specification and use limitation, data quality and integrity, security, accountability and auditing, authority and minimization. The transparency principle. Maintaining transparency and openness regarding policies and practices concerning personal information is crucial for organizations. They should provide explicit and easily accessible notices that detail the creation, collection, use, processing, storage, maintenance, dissemination, and disclosure of personal data. By embracing transparency, Organizations can establish and reinforce trust with their clients and customers. The Department of Homeland Security's effective implementation of a privacy notice is a noteworthy example of openness in practice. This commitment to transparency plays a pivotal role in nurturing a robust and positive relationship between organizations and the individuals they serve. The individual participation principle. Explicit consent is a fundamental aspect of this principle. Organizations must obtain explicit consent from individuals for any data processing activity. This commitment to transparency and accountability ensures that individuals are informed and agree to the specific purpose for which their data will be used. The individual participation principle incorporates rights and empowerment as crucial components. Individuals can access, correct, amend, delete, or restrict data. This empowerment signifies more than control. It also reflects a commitment to upholding privacy principles and ethical data practices. Granting individuals these rights ensure compliance with privacy regulations and fosters a culture of respect for individual autonomy. Additionally, the principle addresses privacy preferences by allowing individuals to object or opt out. This aspect of the principle emphasizes an organization's commitment to respecting the diverse privacy preferences of individuals. It ensures that individuals retain control over how their data is used, promoting a sense of control and choice in the data processing landscape. The Department of Homeland Security offers a tangible example of the individual participation principle. Programs such as the Freedom of Information Act process and the DHS Traveler Redress Inquiry Program enables individuals to access and correct their information actively regardless of citizenship. These initiatives practically implement the principle in real-world scenarios and exemplify the DHS's commitment to customer service and individual involvement in data processing. In essence, the individual participation principle transforms data subjects from passive contributors to active participants in shaping the destiny of their personal information. This principle establishes the foundation for relationships based on trust, transparency, and a profound respect for privacy preferences. Purpose specification and use limitation principle. Welcome to an in-depth exploration of the purpose specification and use limitation principle, a foundational fair information practice principle component. This principle is a cornerstone for establishing trust, transparency, and responsible data management practices. In the following paragraphs, we will unravel the critical elements of this principle and illustrate how organizations can embody it in their data processing procedures. The purpose specification and use limitation principle fosters trust and transparency in data processing. At its core, this principle requires organizations to explicitly articulate the reasons for collecting personal information. This emphasis on transparency provides individuals with a clear understanding and insight into the activities surrounding processing their data. One crucial aspect of this principle is the mandate to restrict the use and disclosure of personal data to specific or compatible purposes. This means that organizations must ensure that personal information is utilized only for the purposes for which it was initially collected. By doing so, these principles act as a safeguard, preventing the misuse of personal information and contributing to an overall enhancement of privacy. Furthermore, this principle necessity and relevance component encourages organizations to adopt a reasonable data collection and retention approach. It urges them to gather and retain only the information that is necessary and relevant for the specified purposes. This aligns with the principle of data minimization and promotes responsible and efficient data handling practices. We turn to the U.S. Census Bureau's privacy policy to illustrate the purpose specification and use limitation principle in action. This exemplar showcases how organizations can adhere to this principle by clearly elucidating the purposes behind data collection, imposing restrictions on use and disclosure, and limiting data collection to what is essential for fulfilling their mission. The purpose specification and use limitation principle is pivotal in promoting transparency, mitigating privacy risk, and ensuring responsible and effective data management. Organizations that adhere to these principles not only build credibility, but also maintain the trust of individuals. As we navigate through the intricacies of this principle, let's keep these critical elements in mind, recognizing their significance in fostering a culture of responsible data governance. Data quality and integrity principle. This principle serves as the bedrock for maintaining the reliability and accuracy of personal information, setting essential standards for responsible data management. Let's delve into the key elements that define and underscore the significance of this foundational principle. Accuracy and completeness. At the heart of this principle is the mandate that personal information must be accurate, complete, and up-to-date. This emphasis on precision is critical for effective decision-making and is integral to building and preserving trust with individuals. Timeliness of data. Ensuring that personal information is updated promptly is another crucial aspect. Timely updates prevent data quality and relevance compromise, enabling organizations to work with the most current and reliable information. Individuals' rights to correction. An empowering feature of this principle is the acknowledgement of individuals' right to request updates, corrections, and deletions of their personal information. Organizations are obliged to promptly address these requests, contributing to the overall accuracy of the data. Verification of identity and source. To bolster the reliability of personal information, organizations must verify the identity and authenticity of individuals and the sources of the personal information. This verification process adds an extra layer of assurance regarding the legitimacy and trustworthiness of the data. Illustrating data quality and integrity in practice. A real-world exemplification of the data quality and integrity principles can be found in the privacy policy of the U.S. Social Security Administration. This policy not only upholds the rights of individuals to correct their information, but also implement robust verification processes ensuring the integrity of the data they handle. Data quality and integrity principles are crucial for building trust, facilitating data-driven decision-making, and fulfilling organizational responsibilities to maintain accurate and reliable personal information. Organizations that adhere to these principles are committed to data quality and ethical practices, contributing to a landscape of responsible data management. Security principle. The security principle is a foundational pillar for organizations committed to safeguarding personal information in the face of evolving risk. Let's delve into the key elements and practices that define this crucial principle, emphasizing the multifaceted approach adopted to fortify data security. Robust safeguards. The security principle operates with a robust framework encompassing administrative, technical, and physical safeguards. These safeguards include encryption, authentication, authorization, firewall implementation, antivirus measures, and complete backup and recovery processes. Each element is vital in preventing unauthorized access, use modification, loss, destruction, dissemination, or disclosure of personal information. Regular assessment and audit. Ensuring the ongoing effectiveness of these protective measures is paramount. Regular security assessments and audits are conducted to continually evaluate and enhance the security framework. This proactive approach is integral to adapting to emerging threats and maintaining a resilient defense against potential vulnerabilities. Incident response and reporting. In the unfortunate event of security incidents or breaches, organizations adhering to the security principle prioritizes a swift and comprehensive response. This includes prompt reporting and adherence to legal requirements. Notifying affected individuals and relevant authorities is mandated by law, fostering transparency and accountability. The U.S. Department of Defense privacy policy is a noteworthy example, illustrating a comprehensive and strategic approach to personal information security. This real-world application showcases the dedication to implementing stringent measures to protect sensitive data. Commitment to data protection. Recognizing the critical importance of the security principle, organizations devoted to robust data protection practices prioritize maintaining the confidentiality and integrity of personal information. They instill trust among stakeholders and fulfill legal obligations, contributing to a secure and trustworthy data management environment. The security principle is not just a set of measures, it is a comprehensive strategy aimed at fortifying the defenses around personal information. Organizations embracing this principle demonstrate a commitment to proactive security, resilience in the face of challenges, and an unwavering dedication to maintaining the trust and confidence of individuals. The accountability and auditing principle. Accountability and auditing are fundamental for organizations that value the fair information practice principles and other significant privacy laws. This principle places a considerable responsibility on organizations, compelling them to adopt a systematic and comprehensive approach to ensure transparency, accountability, and continuous improvement in their data management practices. Establishing a solid framework for monitoring, auditing, and documenting an organization's compliance and performance regarding privacy regulations is at the core of the accountability and auditing principle. This approach provides a clear and transparent overview of the organization's adherence to privacy principles and legal requirements. It involves maintaining meticulous records to ensure every step is documented, reflecting the organization's commitment to accountability. One of the most crucial aspects of privacy management is assigning specific roles and responsibilities to manage personal information within the organization. This applies to all employees and contractors, emphasizing the importance of collaborative efforts to ensure effective data management. Providing comprehensive training and guidance to individuals entrusted with personal information is imperative, ensuring they are well versed in privacy practices. The accountability and auditing principle encourage collaboration and coordination with external organizations and authorities. Actively participating in external privacy reviews and evaluations demonstrates a commitment to transparency and a willingness to undergo assessment by external entities. This contributes to the organization's accountability and fosters a broader culture of responsibility. Data management, responsible data management across the industry. The privacy policy of the U.S. Department of Justice is a noteworthy example of practical implementation and commitment to accountability. It showcases how organizations can structure process, assign responsibilities, and actively participate in external reviews to ensure accountability. Adopting the accountability and auditing principle goes beyond mere compliance. It fosters a culture of responsibility and continuous improvement in privacy practices. It showcases an organization's dedication to privacy governance excellence, building trust with individuals, and positioning itself as a leader in responsible data management. As organizations navigate the complex data privacy landscape, the accountability and auditing principles serve as a guiding light, ensuring that principles are adopted continually, upheld, and improved upon. The authority principle. The authority principle is a fundamental concept in responsible data management, providing clear guidelines on how organizations should handle personal information. At its core, this principle asserts that organizations can only process personal information when there is a legal basis for doing so. Legal mandate. Central to the authority principle is the requirement for organizations to have legal basis explicitly stated in every notices provided to individuals. This ensures transparency, providing individuals with a clear understanding of the organization's authority in handling their personal information. This clarity is crucial for fostering trust and enabling individuals to make informed decisions about their data. Compliance with laws. Fostering a culture of compliance. Organizations navigate a complex landscape of laws and regulations governing their authority to handle personal information. The authority principle emphasizes the need to strict adherence to these legal frameworks. This includes respecting the rights and preferences of individuals regarding their data. The principle guideline guides organizations to align their data practices with legal requirements. The privacy policy of the U.S. Department of Education serves as a compelling example of an organization effectively upholding the authority principle. The department demonstrates a commitment to responsible data handling through meticulous attention to legal compliance. This example showcases practical implementation aligned with legal and ethical consideration. Importance of authority principle. The authority principle holds paramount importance in the realm of personal information management. It serves as a crucial framework for prioritizing legal and ethical considerations. Upholding this principle ensures that organizations operate within the boundaries set by the law while respecting the rights and preferences of individuals. Unfortunately, ultimately, the authority principle becomes a cornerstone for establishing trust and maintaining integrity in data practices, underlining the significance of ethical data management in the digital age. The minimization principle is a crucial guideline for responsible data management, emphasizing the importance of limiting the handling of personal information to what is directly relevant and necessary for legitimate purposes. These principles ensure that organizations only retain personal data for the duration required to fulfill its intended purpose or as mandated by law. It underscores the need to streamline data processing, respecting individuals' privacy by minimizing unnecessary data collection. Organizations must ensure that personal information is directly relevant and necessary for a legitimate purpose, thereby reducing unnecessary data collection and respecting individuals' privacy. Personal data should also be retained for as long as needed, aligning with the legal retention requirement for responsible and lawful data management practices. Proactively disposing of personal information when it is no longer needed or required by law is essential to prevent unnecessary data retention and mitigate privacy risks. The US Treasury privacy policy is a commendable example of the minimization principle, as it is committed to limiting data collection to what is operationally relevant, promoting responsible data management practices, enables organizations to uphold ethical standards and reduce privacy risks. This commitment aligns with the overarching goal of safeguarding and respecting individuals' privacy rights in the digital landscape. Comparing FIPPs. The FIPPs are not legally binding, but serve as a common framework and best practices for privacy policies. They reflect widely accepted privacy principles in official privacy frameworks such as the General Data Protection Regulation (GDPR) and the California Consumer Privacy Act (CCPA). The GDPR is a comprehensive and harmonized data protection law that applies to the European Union and the European Economic Area. It grants individuals various rights and protection regarding their data, such as the right to be informed, the right to access, the right to rectification, the right to erasure, the right to restrict processing, the right to data portability, the right to object, the right to not be subject to automated decision making. It also imposes various obligations to comply with the data protection principle, the commitment to implement data protection by design, and by default, the responsibility to conduct data protection impact assessment and obligation to appoint data protection officers, the obligation to report data breaches, and the obligation to cooperate with supervisory authorities. The GDPR also regulates the cross-border transfer of personal data and establishes a mechanism for cooperational and consistency among the EU member states. The CCPA is a landmark consumer privacy law that applies to California. It grants Californians various rights and protection regarding their personal information, such as the right to know, the right to delete, the right to opt out, and the right to non-discrimination. It also imposes various obligations and responsibilities on businesses that collect, sell, or share personal information, such as the obligation to provide notices, the commitment to respond to requests, the obligation to implement reasonable security measures, the responsibility to register as data brokers, and the obligation to comply with California Attorney General's regulation. The CCPA also regulates the cross-border transfer of personal information and establishes a mechanism for enforcement and litigation. The FIPPs are like the GDPR and the CCPA in many aspects, such as transparency, individuals' participation, purpose specification, data minimization, use limitation, data quality and integrity, security, accountability, and auditing. However, there are also some differences and nuances, such as the definition of personal information, the scope and applicability of the laws, the conditions and exceptions for consent, the requirements and exemptions for cross-border transfer, the roles and responsibilities of data controller, the processors, the sanctions and remedies for violations, and the mechanisms for oversight and cooperation. The FIPPs can help protect personal identifiable information, any information that can be used to identify, contact, or locate a specific individual alone or in combination with other data. PII can include, but it is not limited to, name, address, email, phone number, social security number, driver's license number, passport number, bank account number, credit card number, biometric data, health data, educational data, employment data, and online identifiers. By following the FIPPs, organizations can ensure that they collect, use, and disclose PII in a fair, lawful, and respectful manner, and that they respect the rights of preferences of individuals regarding their PII. They can also reduce the risk and cost of data breaches, enhancing the trust and confidence of individuals and customers, and foster innovation and competitiveness. Protecting identifiable information and putting the principle to use. The Fair Information Practice Principles are a robust framework for federal agencies to effectively protect personally identifiable information, PII. In employing each principle, agencies can ensure responsible and ethical handling of sensitive data, fostering a climate of transparency, accountability, and trust. Transparency. Federal agencies can uphold transparency by making privacy notices accessible and understandable across various communication channels. This involves informing individuals about the types of PII collected, the reasons for collection, and the sources, uses, and disclosure of such information. By providing clear contact information, agencies empower individuals to seek clarification or voice concerns, promoting an open and communicative environment. Individuals' participation. Obtaining consent before collecting, using, or disclosing PII is crucial to respecting individuals' rights. Agencies should establish mechanisms allowing individuals to access, review, correct, amend, delete, or restrict their PII. This ensures active participation and control over their data, aligning with the principle of individual participation. The purpose, specification, and use limitation. Clarity in stating the purpose of collecting PII is essential. Agencies must restrict the use and disclosure of PII to purpose compatible with the stated reason, ensuring legal authority for the collection and transparency. Disclosing this in privacy notices and policies reinforces the principles of purpose, specification, and use limitations. Data quality and integrity. Maintaining accurate, complete, timely, and reliable PII is a shared responsibility. Agencies should establish measures for upholding, correcting, or deleting PII upon individuals' request, verifying the identity and authenticity of both individuals and the sources of PII contribute to the data, to data quality and integrity. Security. The safeguarding of PII from unauthorized access, modification, loss, or disclosure is a paramount responsibility. Agencies can implement administrative, technical, and physical safeguards such as encryption, authentication, authorization, and regular security assessment. Timely reporting and responses in response to security incidents ensures a proactive approach to data protection. Accountability and auditing. Regular monitoring, auditing, and documentation of compliances and performances are integral. Establishing metrics and indicators for privacy outcomes, assigning roles and responsibilities, and collaborating with external entities or privacy review contribute to a culture of accountability. Authority. Compliance with FIPPs and other privacy laws is crucial. Agencies should conduct regular audits, document compliance, and collaborate with external parties for evaluation. This ensures that privacy practices align with established standards and legal requirements. Integrating these principles into policies, procedures, and practices. Federal agencies protect PII and fortify trust, reduce data breach risks, and foster an environment conducive to responsible and innovative data management. The FIPPs, therefore, stand as a cornerstone for ensuring the security, integrity, and ethical use of personally identifiable information within federal agencies. Conclusion. The Fair Information Practice Principle are widely accepted guidelines that shape information privacy policies across various industries. These principles consist of 8 core values: transparency, individual participation, purpose, specification, use limitation, data quality and integrity, security, accountability and auditing, authority and minimization. The FIPPs provides a comprehensive framework for ethical data management. Although the FIPPs are not legally binding, they significantly impact and serve as a widely recognized best practices for organizations that develop privacy policies. They are relevant today as they align with prominent privacy frameworks like the GDPR and California Consumer Privacy Act. Adhering to the FIPPs can offer many benefits to organizations. By following these principles, they can minimize risk and cost associated with data breaches while building trust and confidence among individuals and customers. This commitment to responsible data management practices ensures compliance with privacy regulations and positions organizations as innovators who can navigate evolving data privacy expectations. Federal agencies embracing the FIPPs involves implementing a multifaceted approach. This includes adopting policies such as providing transparent notices, seeking explicit consent, specifying data usage purpose, limiting the scope of data use, ensuring data quality, fortifying security measures, establishing accountability and auditing mechanisms, verifying authority for data processing, and minimizing data collection. This holistic strategic aligns agencies with the FIPPs and fosters a culture of responsible data management and privacy protection. To gain further insights on this presentation, the following references are outlined. Thank you and God bless you for joining me on this video.